Welcome to Pigeon River Farm, doing farming right. I'm Robert Brown, the owner of Pigeon River Farm. Thank you for viewing. Well, good evening. In this episode, we're going to talk about ideas and fabrication, and how if you come up with some good ideas, you're a good fabricator, you have access to people that can actually fabricate, it actually is very beneficial for your farm operation. We have over the years come up with innovative ideas, and they have paid dividends by the tune of thousands of dollars in positive income. Let me give you a list of what has occurred on the farm. This is kind of a small, these are the milestone ones, but there's many others. But we'll cover the portable chicken mobile. There is hundreds of designs out there, so there's nothing necessarily unique about this particular design other than it works for us, and it works very well. We simply took an old chopper wagon, we modified it to add it so it can handle a couple hundred hens reside in there. It's got integrated nesting boxes in it, and it's got an area where the chickens can start out before they're onto the grasses in the morning. They have kind of a perch, plus they have protection from aerials underneath, like most of the designs would be. Anyways, I repurposed a chopper wagon. I bought it at an auction for, well, I think it was like $300, put, probably $1,000 worth of materials into it and labor. But we have now been using this thing for over a decade, and very successfully with almost zero problem. A few minor innovations, put a automatic door on it, was about the most significant thing we've done. Next was we needed something, we were utilizing a tractor to pull the chicken mobile around a pasture, and I have a lot of pasture, a lot of animals, so we go quite the distance. So I needed something that was practical. It normally would take a tractor out there and then bring the tractor back after. Well, I needed something that would be self-contained. I thought of a series of needs. One is it needed to be able to pull the chicken mobile around. Number two, we had to carry feed because I was hauling feed out there. We need something that would handle feed. Number three, I need something that actually would provide the ability to keep the eggs, so I didn't have to bring the eggs back on extremely hot days multiple times per day. So it needed something resembling refrigeration. So we ended up designing up, took an old combine, an old International 315, modified it in such a way that it allowed us to have all of this. So we have the ability to carry grain on board, 80 bushels, highly modified. So we opened it up, we took out all the innards, I guess we'd say it that way, utilized the storage reserves on both sides, and put a system in place where we could add the grain through the front of it and discharge out of the chute, and it works absolutely perfect. Number two, it pulls the chicken mobile around. I added cameras, both for security for the birds, but more importantly, when I need to back out maneuver, I got multiple cameras on all different angles and a display in the cockpit that I can actually view. So that was a real excellent blessing. And number three, we simply put a refrigerator out of an old camper that runs on both propane and DC and AC, and we put that in I guess we'd say the inside of the chicken mobile, and then I can take our early eggs on them extremely hot days, put them in there, and I don't have to make multiple egg trips as far as actually hauling the eggs. So that was another one. Since then we put solar on it. So a lot of innovations, plus the security system's wireless, so I can actually monitor the birds from a remote location. Next was overwintering in the multiple high tunnels. We got 10,000 square feet of high tunnels, or plastic, where the birds reside. Plus we have the layer barn. But getting feed so I can evenly disperse it across typically was me hauling it in basically manned carts. Well, we took an old powered feed cart and modified it. That's intended to have silage in it. Modified it, put a floor in it, put an auger in it, and took that and allowed us to now distribute the feed throughout the entirety of the high tunnels for best distribution of residual feed, I guess we'd say, and all the manure throughout there. So we kind of get two birds, no pun intended, with one shot. So that innovation has worked out phenomenal. The next one we had, for me, it was a real hassle. I do a lot of spraying, all organic. We use a biological pack, so I'm normally spraying as early as I can get out in the spring, or somewhere in that early mid-April time period, all the way out to October. So multiple passes. I have, I guess we'd say, a good quality sprayer. I've optimized it, and I didn't want to give it up. But between paddocks, I had to go out and lift up the arms on it, and that could be a real hassle. Plus, I'd get dribbled on with the sprayer. When even though it was shut off, it typically dripped when you lift them up. So I went ahead and we took basically a winch motor, series of cables, welded that all on, put a battery on board, and I could simply reach back with basically a winch control lever, and I can raise and lower the booms between pasture openings. Yeah, that fit, but boy, it doesn't fit with a lot of room. This gives me a lot of real estate. Plus, if I have to make a single pass in close, or I need to just raise it up, or I'm going real close to the fence, I have all this luxury without any hassle right from the tractor. So them three items alone have been absolutely phenomenal. The modification on the chicken would be on pasture with the two things that I had mentioned. I guess we combined them. Next was the powered feed cart, and last was the sprayer. There's a lot more, but just saying these, probably out-of-pocket cost for all of the items there was somewhere, I'd have to say, maybe $4,000 to $5,000. It has paid for that so many times over. So think about, where would $5,000 and some hard work, let's take the $5,000. If you're going to go to an implement dealer and buy something for $5,000, you don't bring much home. Well, here these items are modified, so welding skills, fabricating skills, and knowing great people that help. So my recommendation, if you're farmsteading, small farm, big farm, whatever the situation is, think about repurposing items and modifying them accordingly to best serve your farm. This is how you make profit, and this is how you make profit in these times when we have high inflationary cycles. So these are things to do. Give it some thought. I appreciate the time, and have a most wonderful evening.